Racing. It's in our blood. From the No Limits of Texas to the high-speed banks at Daytona.
I mean, nobody's going to catch that three-truck of Hal Amy as he takes it.
From the drop of the green flag. To green flag pit stops. To their DNA. We live for it. There's 7 nights in a week. And only one night matters to us. The moment to prove that we're the best. Laying down an entire season. Pushing the limits. We're made for it. Bumper, Artie Peterson out to the lead. Glenn Jamison's pushing hard now. Garrett behind him. Top 5 could throw a blanket over it. Artie's going to drop down to the inside. 10 car's going to start pushing. WFO Twisted Tuesday Truck Series live here in Fontana, California, Auto Club Speedway. Truck Series pole goes to Keaton Tripp. Put it up front there, starting on the inside. We'll get your grid up there for you, Keaton Tripp. With a 40.380, Todd Cleveland on the outside with a 40.436. So these guys pretty tight, less than a 10 separating these two. We move on through. Second row is going to be Richard Holland starting in the 3rd position. Troy Cook to his outside in 4th. Chuck Sweeting, 5th position. Rick Fagone, 6th. 7th position, Christopher Spencer and Larry Dickerson on the outside in that 69 machine. John T. Wimbish going to start 9th position tonight. In 10th spot, we got the 45 of Jonathan Williams. Greg Learman in the 11th position with Raymond Herdina in the 25 and 12th spot. Matt Egan, Brian Beach, 13th and 14th. 15th position belongs to Dylan Bryant with Kyle Stewart in 16th. 17th spot, Dakota Floyd. Then we've got the fan favorite from Pennsylvania, Hal Amy, with a 40.64 and 18th. Brad Patterson and Jacob Daniels going to be 19th and 20th. 21st, Burt Wilson in that 70 machine with John Sanu in 22nd. Tommy Haynes going to round out your field. Vern Bradley on 23rd. Not sure if the 114's out here. Let's go back and look. Looks like he might be taking an EOL. Richard Springer, Dustin Germain, Glenn Jamison, and then Michael McCauley out there on the track. That'll take you through your entire grid, but let's get up here to the 26 of Keaton Tripp. Getting ready to hit that Geico restart zone. What's going on, Garrison? Good to see everybody in chat. WFO Twisted Tuesday Truck Series all season long. We're getting ready to start race number 6 at Auto Club. Geico restart zone right there, and here we go. We're live. Everybody getting up to speed here. You can see 2 wide all the way back to probably 20th position. 3 wide as they go down to 3 and 4. 51, Corey Cook. I'm sorry, Troy Cook in the middle there. Haven't heard that name in a while. He's up on the outside behind Todd Cleveland, running in that 4th spot. Looked like he was going to make up some ground there, but didn't quite get the run into 3. Richard Holland on the inside. He's going to make a pass for 2nd now. Todd Cleveland able to hold it up there on the outside. And Keaton Tripp all by his lonesome up in the front. He's looking good up there by himself. I believe that's a 21, maybe on the outside up real high there on the exit of 2. He lost a couple positions running that high line. Now he's peeking to the inside of Rick Fagone. 21 racing for the 8th position now. Dylan Bryant on the inside. Timing and scoring got a little broken here. There we go. 03 at Dylan Bryant was racing to the inside there for just a second, but couldn't quite get the nose in there. And these guys are running a much higher line than we're used to seeing. You can see the 21 all the way up next to the wall, all the way through 1 and 2. But they've caught these leaders. Troy Cook able to get around the 55 of Todd Cleveland. We've got Chuck Sweeting up into 4th position. Right on board with the 75 for a moment. You can see that apron a little slippery on the transition. You got to be careful going down there and tagging that white line. It can spin you out really quickly. You can see how tight this group was. And hey, we got John T. Wimbish all the way up on the outside. He's stuck up there with the 21. Rick Fagone going to fall in line in front of him. Now peek to the inside for the 56. This is for the 6th position. And now 3 wide and 3 and 4. Matt Egan sneaking his way up there and from the 8th spot. That 21's losing a ton of time. He gets up there on that high groove, and it seems like the marbles are slowing him down a little bit. A lot of racing from about 6th position back. We got 3 wide back here with Vern Bradley in the middle. Vern Bradley making some moves, and now almost 4 wide. You can see the ladder step back to the 114, just outside the top 10 for the 114 right now. Vern Bradley moving up through this field quickly. Last time by ran a 40.762. Started in 23rd, all the way up to 11th right now. So he is on the move. And Keaton Tripp trying to break that draft. Takes the whole pack down to the bottom of the track, down the backstretch. Had Richard Holland following suit. He knows that draft is powerful here at Auto Club. And this truck's very momentum-based. Now he takes him down to the bottom on the front stretch. He's trying to sway that draft, but I'm afraid that that's going to heat up those tires. It might all be for nothing. He's going to burn up that right front. Bad enough here in 1 and 2. Try to conserve those tires. Richard Holland following. It's going to be tough to walk away from these guys. You see Richard not even following for it this time. Keaton comes back up for the entry at 3 and 4. It's just not going to be enough right now. And I think that 31, saving those tires, staying up there, it's going to benefit him in the long run. So your top 3, Keaton Tripp, Richard Holland, Troy Cook. Then we go back to Chuck Sweeting, Todd Cleveland. He started outside up front there. He's lost a couple positions, but John T. Wimbish has worked his way up to the back bumper of Todd Cleveland. And a little scrape with the wall going into the entrance of 3 and 4. Wimbish is coming now. He's got somebody else knocking on the door, though. There's Rick Fagone to the inside. Ricky's going to pass. This is for 6th spot again. These guys have been going back and forth lap after lap. Ricky all the way to the bottom in 1 and 2. Might get to the inside of the 55 of Cleveland now. Looks like maybe the outside line has a better run down the back straightaway, so No gain for the 10. He's trying. He lost a position now to the 21 of Craig Learman. Learman's been running that outside groove pretty well compared to everybody else. Let's ride on board with him for a moment. You can see this field has not spread out very much. Top 10 pretty close together. Last car in the top 10 is the 3 of Hal Amy. And he has about a 0.4 of a second gap to Matt Egan here. We go back here to the 69 machine. Larry Dickerson. Erdina able to get by on the inside, 25 up to 12th position now. This gap has stayed about the same between the 26 and the 31. Hasn't really grown, hasn't really shrunk. And Keaton Tripp, who we thought maybe swaying back and forth would hurt him, it looks like maybe that breaking that draft is working for him so far. As he comes out of turn 2, leading lap number 11 out of 105. And these guys following suit. Look at this motion. It's like a crowd doing the wave at a football stadium. Everybody's joining in right now. Across the line for lap number 12. 26 doing an excellent job. Go back here to Chuck Sweeting. He's taking some fire to Troy Cook for the top 3. Way up there on that outside is the 21. Look at him go. Learman is just way up there compared to everybody else, and that can heat up those tires. I know that this track is very forgiving when it comes to multi-groove racetrack. You can see the 21 is got a little bit different line than everybody else. We'll ride on board with him on the helmet camera, show you how high he's going into 1 and 2. Way up the track here, able to get back to the throttle a little bit sooner, but it seems like that bottom line just a little bit quicker through the corner. His run doesn't come until the backstretch, and that might be too little too late. And now you can't read the logo on the hood of Richard Holland's car. Holland has caught up. Down to the bottom of the track for the 31, the 51, the 75. Chuck Sweeting not able to get around Troy Cook quite yet. So we get 14 laps into this run. Tires are starting to show here. What a run by the 31 to come off a 2. He's peeking to the inside, now the outside. 26 weaving back and forth, trying to break up that draft, but it's no use. Right up on the bumper now. As they enter 3, Holland backs the corner up a little bit. 26 up the banking. Now we're going to see another run. There's the peak to the inside. Now the 31 has the run. Can he do anything with it, though? All the way to the bottom in 1 and 2 for the lead. Richard Holland side by side with Keaton Tripp, who's led from the beginning of this race to lap 15. What's going on, Denise? Good to see you in the chat. We're side by side for the lead right now. Richard Holland didn't quite get the run off of 1 and 2 that he would have liked of, but they still side by side into 3. This is opening up some doors maybe for the 51. Pinch down on the exit. Holland not able to get the run, and that's going to leave Keaton Tripp up into P1. Chuck Sweeting now starting to take some fire to the back bumper of Corey Cook. Let's ride on board with him. A lot of racing being done right here for the top 5. Holland tried his hand, just not able to complete the pass. They got side by side for a couple laps there. Now Troy Cook and Chuck Sweeting look like they might be setting up for a race. We go back here to the 24. We got a car in the wall. This is the 86 of John Sanu. Currently being scored in the 22nd position. He clips the outside wall coming out of turn 2, and that's going to slow him up a little bit. This car very aerodynamically driven, or this truck rather. Don't want to damage it. Got to take care of that stuff. We were talking about Larry Dickerson earlier. He was running side by side with Learman and a few others. This is just outside the top 10. The 54 will be the last car in the top 10. Hal Amy's worked his way up to 9th position. Rick Fagone in 8th. And that's a pretty big spread from about 8th place back to 9th. 1.5 second interval back to Hal Amy. And then he's got a lot of cars right on his bumper. Let's get back up here towards the front. Richard Holland able to get around Keaton Tripp. That opened all kinds of doors for several different cars here. Chuck Sweeting on the inside of Troy Cook. This top 5 hasn't given up yet. Holland now starting to pull away. This is actually holding up for second and third position, falling back a little bit. We're going to go on board with the 75, Chuck Sweeting. He's on the outside of Keaton Tripp as we speak, as they go into 3 and 4. Sweeting buries it down into the corner, able to make quick work on that outside, and there he goes. Now he's even got a run, and we got pit stops happening. 31, Richard Holland down pit road. Keaton Tripp locks it up hard. Not sure if he got a speeding penalty or not, but he did lock it up pretty hard to get down in there. Keaton starting on the pole, so he will have the first pit box as we travel down pit road with him. Into his box here. Got Todd Cleveland also in his stall. Down and away for Richard Holland. Looks like maybe right side tires only for the 31. Not sure. But they're down and away. And here comes Chuck Sweeting down pit road. So second round of pit stops. Troy Cook. I don't know why I keep saying Corey Cook. We haven't heard that name in a while. Larry Dickerson down pit road. Dylan Bryant as well. Dakota Floyd. Well, this all cycles through who got on pit road the fastest. And who's still out there on the track as the 75 beats the 51 out of pit road. Chuck Sweeting. And then here comes Richard Holland, who entered the pits first. He goes around Rick Fagone, who would be in the third position. He's still got some catching up to do. 2 guys in front of him. Chuck Sweeting able to get on and off pit road pretty quickly here. So new leader. As it stands right now, 75, Chuck Sweeting. NP1. Back to Troy Cook, who's in the second position. He pitted with the 75, able to beat Richard Holland out of pit road. And Keaton Tripp has fallen all the way back to the 5th position. This could be a product of tires, different strategies. You look at the pit stop for Keaton Tripp, 14 seconds versus the 8.7 for Chuck Sweeting. The 26 does have 4 tires compared to these guys. And we've got a yellow flag somewhere out here on the track.
You're doing a great job, man. We'll keep working on this thing for you.
Go back and try to figure out where that was. Matt Egan down on the inside. Well, let's rewind and figure this out. Burn it down with fire. All right, instant replay. My replay controls are broken on ATVO here tonight, so I don't know exactly why or what is happening. But here we go, into 1 and 2. Matt Egan looks like he tags the apron there for just a second, gets super loose coming off the exit of 2. Slides it all the way down on the inside, locks it up. I think he's going to be able to keep it off the wall there. But that brings out the first caution flag on lap 23. And unfortunately, replay controls are all going to have to be manual tonight. That bunches our field back up. Chuck Sweeting had a very big lead here. Some of these guys electing to pit. I believe the whole field's going to come down pit road. 75, 51, 31, 26. The 10 car stays out. So Rick Fagone's going to stay out there. Look at all these takers on pit road. I believe this is going to be a fuel stop for some of these boys. Fuel only for most of the field, I would say. 75 tops off, 51 out and away, 31, 26. There's the 55 of Cleveland, so Chuck Sweeting wins the race off pit road, but Rick Fagone and a collection of a couple other cars stay out. And timing of scoring a little bit confused here, but the 10 car is being scored as your leader currently. I believe some of these guys maybe trying to get a wave around. They got caught on pit road while that caution come out. Good to see you, Cindy. Sorry, just trying to cycle and figure out who is where and what time. Some of these guys are still in daylight savings time, I think. My brain definitely is. But new leader, started 6th, currently in 1st, Rick Fagone. And we're going to find out, as he had an 8.4 second pit stop last time in. Some of these guys topping off with fuel. 24, 114, they come down pit road, so they're kind of counting that they are going to be short a little bit. Might as well bring it down pit road. Some of these guys may have stayed out trying to get a lap back. It's hard to tell exactly. But we're getting doubled up. Lights are out on the iRacing pace truck. The 10 truck of Rick Fagone gonna lead them off here. Geico restart zone. Coming up out of turn 4. We've seen a shuffle of different lead changes. You want to go through and look at all the things in the summary here. We've had 1 caution, 3 lead changes, 210 miles here to race tonight. Keaton Tripp that started on the pole, currently in the 4th position. He's fallen off a little bit, but he did take 4 tires compared to everybody else's maybe 2 tire or no tire pit stops. Some of these guys trying to save that last set for the end. So you might see Keaton Tripp start to pull away here momentarily with fresher tires. But let's get up here. Pace car pulls off. 10 trucks going to hit the loud pedal right here, and we're down. Green flag is out. We're back live at Auto Club, and great start for Rick Fagone, but again, doesn't do you much with the draft here. You can see the gap already shrinking. Troy Cook able to get around the 75 of Sweeting on the outside. Now he's got the 26 of Keaton Tripp on the outside, right up on the bumper as they go into 3 and 4. Keaton Tripp up on the outside. He's going to make quick work of the 51. And those 4 tires looking really strong here. Is Rick going to be able to lead this lap as they get the run off of 4? I think Keaton Tripp's going to swipe it away. Back to P1 for the 26. And he's led 17 laps now. On the flip side, if this goes green, you've got guys that haven't taken that set of tires. 26 definitely taking advantage of these 4 fresh ones. You can see that gap growing really quickly. The 10 got some positions, though. He's going to be up in the top 3. Corey Cook, who's been holding off Chuck Sweeting. We've got 3 wide behind him here. 21 on the outside, 25 on the bottom. Richard Holland stuck in the middle. John T. Wimbish going to push and bump draft a little bit here on the 21. Holland under fire big time. Some of these guys, like Craig Learman, who took 4, he's moving through this field quickly. Now to the inside of Todd Cleveland and Chuck Sweeting. Started 11th. Has worked his way all the way up into the top 5. Now on Troy Cook's back bumper as he peeks to the outside. Dives down to the bottom. Troy Cook takes him down there. Gonna make it tough on him to get around. 3 wide behind him there with Sweeting in the 25. Raymond Herdina. Almost some contact there. Such a difference in these tires. As you see the 114 of Vern Bradley trying to get his lap back. He's taking 4 for sure. He's on the outside of Richard Holland. John T. Wimbish there. This field is shuffling big time. So, WFO Twisted Tuesday Truck Series. A lot of action here tonight in California. Keaton Tripp has pulled out to about a 1.5 second lead. However, your second place driver, who has also a fresh set of tires, Craig Learman. And then you have to go back to the 25 of Raymond Herdina in 3rd spot. Now, I'm going to venture to say that all these guys have 4 fresh tires on these machines, and this top 3 burned that set with the very first pit stop. Richard Springer is worked up to 4th. So Rick Fagone takes the green flag, not quite able to lead a lap, and he finds himself back in 5th now with Todd Cleveland on the back bumper. Looking back here at the 45 of Jacob Daniels side by side with the 70 of Burt Wilson. Burt Wilson's actually being scored in the 15th spot. So this is not for position on the 45. Check in with the 3 of Hal Amy being scored 14th position currently. Started 18th, so he has moved up a little bit, but we have all these different sets of tires. You see Richard Holland, he's fallen back to 12th position. He has the 54 of Dustin German in front of him. Tommy Haynes, John T. Wimbish side by side into 3 and 4. What a spread these tires made. You'll see this come back to them, though. Later on in this race, when those guys don't have that extra set, the strategy will change some things. And if they go green from here on out, it could spell trouble for that top 5. As Keaton Tripp pulls out 1.7 seconds, almost 3 seconds back to the 21 or the 28 of Richard Springer. Craig Lerman about 1.7 back, and that gap is not shrinking. Todd Cleveland being the first car with old tires. Chuck Sweeting getting to the outside of Rick Fagone. Tommy Haynes all the way to the bottom of the track here, as he tries to make a pass on the 54 of German. They're 3 wide up here in front of him. For the 5th position, Chuck Sweeting checks down to the bottom of 3 and 4, gets around Todd Cleveland, trying to set sail after these guys that took 4 tires. He's going to have his work cut out for him. We're talking about probably 1.5 second gap up there to those boys. The blimp camera can't even get him in the frame. They're that far ahead. Chuck's got to chase down the 28. It's a pretty substantial gap back here. There's a couple guys here. We got the 114 of Vern Bradley, who's been trying to get his lap back the old-fashioned way. He's racing through. There's the 28 scrubs the wall there for a second. And the 114 through the middle. He's to the outside of Raymond Herdina, and I believe he's going to get past him there into 1. Now he has to pass 2 more guys, Craig Learman and Keaton Tripp. He's got his work cut out for him, because Keaton Tripp is all the way on the backstretch. That gap is shrinking, though. The 114 driving the doors off of it, trying to catch up to these boys. '25th currently being scored for the Vern Bradley machine, Mountain Dew on that side of that car. And it's a tough break. Some of these guys have been trapped a lap down from the start of this thing. Still a lot of racing going on here from about 7th place back. 3 wide here, Christopher Spencer, John T. Wimbish, Richard Holland. Holland sends it on the outside of Christopher Spencer in 1 and 2. Still side by side going down the backstretch. Now the 11 falls in line. German right up on the bumper. He's going to take it to the bottom. Rick Fagone going to try to follow suit. It's exciting racing going on here. Lap after lap, 29 led for Keaton Tripp, and we're 38 into this. Coming up on halfway, and these guys are going to have to pit here soon. I know we had some top off for fuel, but Rick Fagone in a situation where he's a little bit short compared to the rest of the field. He'll have to pit first. Tommy Haynes, Troy Cook, this is for the 11th position. Side by side into 3 and 4. Field starts to settle down a little bit. Sweeting leading this pack of cars. He's in 4th spot now. 4.5 seconds between him and Richard Springer. In the 28th, 3rd spot for him currently. Started back in 25th, so maybe one of the biggest movers of the race. I'm going to venture to say the 28 has picked up the most positions thus far. Right on board with Keaton Tripp. He's in his own time zone here. And here comes the 21, Craig Learman down pit road. He'll be the first one, the first taker. Interesting to see when the 10 car will decide to come down pit road. We still got a lot of side-by-side racing. 56 of Wimbish on the inside of Kyle Stewart. Stewart's going to sneak up there into the top 10. He gets around Troy Cook. All right, if I say it one more time, I want chat to break me. I don't know what my deal is here tonight, but I've called Troy Corey about 6 times now. So Rick Fagun's still out there on the track. He'll be probably the first out of this group of cars and coming down pit road. But Richard Holland looking to the inside of Christopher Spencer. This is for 4th position, 11, way up in the marbles there. These guys are fighting hard for position. Really tough to pass here tonight. You can see that bottom groove not able to cleanly clear the guys. And Spencer working it really well in the exits. Holland gets a run off of 3 and 4, but they're just about even down the front stretch. Drag racing to the line here. Watch it on board with the 54 of Jermaine. You can see this run all the way to the bottom of the track. And Jermaine might stick his nose in here. Take it 3 wide. He gets to the outside of Holland now. Richard trying to pass on that bottom, not going to work. And Jermaine up into the top 5. All right, so Todd Cleveland, who started up on the outside, he started 2nd outside of the pole, currently 7th position, has lost a little bit of ground, but he has left front damage. You can see the left side of that machine's got some scuffs on it. And I'm not sure where that came from. It's not typical to see. You're usually seeing right side damage. These guys are scrubbing up the track and hit the outside wall. So I'm not sure where that came from exactly. Might have got contact. We would probably find a car that matches some of that damage. And here come green flag pit stops. 31, Richard Holland coming down pit road. Chuck Sweeting in there as well. Christopher Spencer. A lot of takers on pit road. Hal Amy in there as well. Keaton Tripp into his stall, 26, who took 4 tires a moment ago. You might see 4 tire stops for some of these guys at this point. And Keaton Tripp might have a holding penalty. Looks like he's stuck down in pit road. 26 is not down and away, and it looks like, yeah, he got a speeding penalty. He is stuck there. So this changes everything. Got a massive lead going in the 26. Keaton Tripp is stuck on pit road here. So our second tandem, Kyle Stewart, Larry Dickerson, I believe, down pit road. Tommy Haynes in his stall. Bootlegger. Left side's going up on this machine. And now he's down and away. Rick Fagon probably hit that pit stop, and we missed it. Thought he would be one of the first guys to come down here. And we've got a yellow flag, and that shuffles everything up. 54, Jermaine trying to come down to pit road and spins out. Let's burn it down with some fire and figure out what happened to the 54. I'm going to venture to say he locked it up trying to come onto pit road. Now he tags that apron. Lost control of it. Able to keep it off the wall, I believe, right in front of Richard Holland. go back one more time here. And right on board with the 31. This is going to be manually done. I apologize for that, but let's ride on board with the 31. You can see how loose this thing is on cold tires, and the 54 just snaps it left, snaps it right. Oh, Holland barely misses that. Not really sure what's going on with the 21 of Lerman. He might be waiting for the pace car to get back around him here. Here comes the pace truck as it comes by. Yeah, that's what he was waiting on. And he's going to bring it down pit road and have a few guys follow suit. Pagone's going to come down. Holland, Sweeting, Wimbish, Burt Wilson in there as well. Well, this might have saved Keaton Tripp because he lost a ton of time with that penalty, and he's going to bring it down pit road. He raced back around the track to come down here with these guys. 26 car back in the 15th position. Definitely bailed out the 26 because he had a massive lead, and that holding penalty, that'll take about 4 years off of your life. All right, we've got the 20, Kyle Stewart, and the 114 finally going to get that wave around. He was in front of a lot of these guys when the yellow did come out, so he's going to be able to get down back on the lead lap for the 114 of Vern Bradley. He's been struggling with that all race long, but we reached the halfway point. He's going to be able to get back on the lead lap. That's going to help him tremendously. 20 of Kyle Stewart stays out. Tommy Haynes as well. These guys had just got done with green flag pit stops, so why not stay out? Craig Lerman, who led them down pit road. He'll be the first of this group. And I only see a handful of guys that elected to take tires. You've got the 10 truck. Rick Fagone back in 12th. He's got 4 fresh ones. Here comes Sour Patch and Nerds down pit road. They're going to top off here. Just to clarify, I'm reading the sponsors on the trucks. This is Glenn Jamison and Burt Wilson. I don't believe that they're Sour Patch and Nerds. But yeah, 63-70 down pit road. They're down and away. Quick top off of fuel. Guiding the chrome up on those wheels. And we're getting ready to double up here. Kyle Stewart gets ready to lead them off. I venture to say these guys with fresher tires behind them, it's not going to make a massive difference. Only about 2-3 laps on the stint for these guys. And that being Tommy Haynes and Kyle Stewart. I don't think the tires are going to make that big of a difference yet. Maybe later on in the run, the 20 and the 17 might struggle for position, but I think early on in this run, you might see the 20 and the 17 battle for the lead. One of these guys is going to lead a few laps. And then Craig Learman and Chuck Sweeting, who topped off with fuel, might prevail later on in this run because the 20 is going to have to hit pit road a little bit sooner. But let's ride on board with them on this restart. In car with the 20 of Stewart. You can watch what these guys go through for a lap.
Green flag.
Chuck Sweeting gets up on the outside of the 20 and takes that lap lead away. Richard Holland following really closely on the bumpers as 75 takes the lead away from Kyle Stewart. Thought maybe Stewart was going to be able to lead a lap, but not that time by. And Chuck Sweeting snags it away. 5 laps led for the 75. Richard Holland close behind. We've seen a repeat of this. Holland's been chasing the leader all race long. Is he going to be able to get around the 75 of Sweeting? We go back to third. Tommy Haynes, who had a little bit older tires. You see him with Kyle Stewart. Now they've got Christopher Spencer in 5th. John T. Wimbish running side by side back here. Jermaine on the inside. Right on the bumper is the 28 of Richard Springer. These guys battling hard. Holland was right up on that bumper going into 3 and 4. I thought he was going to peek to the inside, but gives the 75 a little shove, and they go down into 3 and 4 pretty quickly. But that 17 starting to get it underneath of him as he starts to gain on these boys. Tommy Haynes on board with him, currently running in the 3rd spot. Now we see a shot through the middle here by John T. Wimbish for the 5th position. He gets around Christopher Spencer. Richard Springer down to the bottom now. And that top 3 is right on top of each other. Sweeting, Holland, Haynes. These guys haven't let up yet. They're starting to make a little gap back to the 4th position. Kyle Stewart under fire right now for the 4th position. He's getting shoved by Wimbish down the backstretch. Springer peeks to the inside. Will he be able to complete the pass? And he gets a little contact. And the 20 car all the way up into the wall. Stewart loses a ton of positions. We had contact at 3 and 4, and the 20 loses the most out of it. All the way back to 17th spot for Kyle Stewart. And the 28 of Springer, who made contact with him, falls back to 12th. Back up front, though, Chuck Sweeting holding on to it. Richard Holland, Tommy Haynes battling hard here. And then a massive gap back to Rick Fagone. We're talking about maybe a 1.6 second gap back to 4th place. John T. Wimbish behind Ricky, and that top 5 kind of spread out this time around. Kind of surprised based off the tires, because you've got pretty similar stints on this, 8 to 10 laps. Tommy Haynes having the oldest tires up here in the top 5. And Haynes has not let up from the back bumper of Holland at all. Tommy Haynes starting 24th up to 3rd. Massive moves here for the 17 machine. There's a lot of cars to be passed. I know we're past the halfway point, but that's a lot of work in a half of a race. Starting to gap a little bit here. Rick Fagone pulling away from John T. Wimbish. We got to go back a little bit further to find some action. The 11th, Christopher Spencer, Dustin German. They were going to get racing here in a second. Hal Amy in the 8th position. He's watching this. Let's go on board with him. Beach right on the bumper now of Hal Amy. Thought we were going to have a little peek there to the inside. Amy holds it down on the bottom, pulls away from him a little bit, gets a run out of 4. And he might catch up to the 54 German. I tell you what, these guys, different parts of the track, they seem to be stronger than others. We got some racing going on back here. Larry Dickerson side by side with Glenn Jamieson for the top 10. Jamieson looked like he was going to clear him there for a second, but that run picked up. 69 on the outside has the preferred line. He's going to hold on to 10th. Burt Wilson looks to the bottom of Troy Cook for the 12th spot. Side by side down the front stretch. We've seen a couple different guys make some contact on this end of the track, so Burt doing a great job, though, holding it down there. 51's going to get up in the marbles, and that's going to allow the 70 to get by. Burt Wilson almost got him completely clear. There he goes down the back stretch and put Wilson up to 12th. The back up to the front, your top 3 haven't changed. Sweeting, Holland, Haynes, and Fagone catching up a little bit. Looks like he's making up some ground slowly. A draft working a little bit in his favor. He's probably clicked off a couple tenths here. But he's pulled away from John Wimbish about 1.1 seconds. The gap there. And the Ford Performance Power Machine of Rick Fagone starting to pull up to this top 3. I tell you what, Wimbish has been strong, though. We've seen him in and out of the top 5 all night. He might be saving those tires a little bit, trying to get back up there and later in this run. Seems like we've had green flag pit stops, but after every stint of green flag pit stops, we've had a yellow. Maybe we can run this thing out. Are very loose on new tires. It looked like some of these guys tagged the apron both instances with our 2 cautions here tonight. Bring up the summary. 2 cautions, 8 lead changes. Impressive here for Auto Club. Side by side, Brian Beach, Dylan Bryant for the 9th position. Brian Beach actually being scored in a different position. I'm trying to find the 18. Of Brian Beach being scored 24th, so he's actually a lap down. Be back here to Glenn Jamieson just outside the top 10. Larry Dickerson was able to get around him earlier, trying to race back up there to Dylan Bryant. He's got about 1.7 seconds to go. As Dylan Bryant gets around the 3 of Hal Amy. Side by side in a 1 and 2. Will Amy hold on to it? Amy gets a run back off the 3 and 4, but had a little bit wider entry into the corner, and that allowed the 03 to get by him and clear him on the exit. Richard Holland gets around Chuck Sweeting. We missed the pass for the lead. We were back here pondering some of these guys that are outside the top 10, and Holland's able to get around the 75. Look who's catching up to him. Tommy Haynes back there in 3rd, but we got Rick Fagone in 4th, and he's caught up to this pack of cars. This gap has been shrinking slowly, lap after lap for Fagone. And then side by side for 5th, Christopher Spencer to the inside of Wimbish. He gets a little tag on the bumper. Now Dylan Bryant looking to the bottom. This is 5th through 8th. 3 wide as they go into 1 and 2. 54 stuck in the middle. Jermaine's going to let the position happen. And that 11 all the way up on the outside. They're going to shuffle with some crossover moves. 54 loses a couple spots. Thought maybe he was going to get a run back. Dylan not able to make a run off of 2. And that allows Wimbish to hold his position in 5th. But Spencer still under fire for 6th spot. Dylan Bryant now. Wimbish did that well. Able to hold on to it. All the way up on the outside line. It seems to be working for him, but here's another crack at it. Christopher Spencer pulls the slide job, didn't quite have enough clearance, and Wimbish still on the outside. He's going to hold on to it for one more straightaway. Spencer now down, dives deep into the corner. Are we going to see a crossover move by the 56? And the 56 is bringing it down pit road. 03 Dylan Bryant following suit. Two takers on pit road here. Al Amy in the 3. He's going to come down as well. Back up front, Richard Holland. When are these guys going to pit? We're talking about 19 laps on the stint for some of these guys. Holland's going to bring it down pit road. Sweeting following suit. Fagone. We've got Christopher Spencer in there as well. Dustin German. Will these guys keep it green? I know a lot of these guys had got these cold tires last time. Dustin German gets 4 tires. Keaton Tripp back out there in 2nd position. He's been recovering from that penalty a moment ago. That caution definitely helped him out in that situation, but 75 is Sweeting down and away. Sweeting goes 8.5 seconds, so he did not take tires. Holland takes 4. Fagone takes 4. Let's see if these guys catch up. Jacob Daniels back out on the... He's going to pull it down pit road. Keaton Tripp following in. You got the 86 of John Sanu in there as well. He's in the 19th position, though. Keaton Tripp not getting a speeding penalty this time. Sweeting is going to be your leader here. Right on board with him for a moment. You can see what an advantage not taking tires does for you on pit road, but on the track it could be a totally different ball game as the 31 of Richard Holland's probably catching up to him. And then you've got Tommy Haynes in a close 3rd position battle. Look how loose this thing's swaying up and down the track. Holland chases it up and down. And Haynes is following right in that draft. He's going to draft right up to the 75 of Sweeting here very soon. Holland's going to probably take him up there with him. So these guys able to stay green and cycle through their pit stops. Nobody gets loose. Nobody loses control. And Chuck Sweeting, your leader, 2.2 seconds, but that gap is shrinking fast. Back here to Holland. Holland and Haynes catching very quickly. That time across the line, 2 seconds flat. Now into one, it's 1.7 seconds. So through the corners, Sweeting trying to save that set of tires for the end here. .1 seconds dividing Holland. These guys have all but caught him. 72 out of 105. We're probably going to have to make one more green flag pit stop before the end of this thing. Do these guys have enough tires to make it to the end? Holland's down to the bottom. I think it's just a matter of time before Holland gets to the outside of Sweeting, and Tommy Haynes is probably going to follow with him. Down the backstretch. Look at the massive difference in speed. Change for the lead. Lap 73. Richard Holland takes it over. Tommy Haynes following for second position. And Rick Fagone looks like he might get third here very soon. As he dives down to the bottom, gets around the 75 is Sweeting. Now John T. Wimbish will be the next car in line. But pretty big gap, 4 seconds back to these guys. On and off pit road a little bit faster for this top three. And Richard Holland, your leader, 7 laps led. He's been chasing it all race long. Finally able to get up there, and looks like he's pulling away. Got a little bit of a gap created here between the 17 of Haynes, who's under fire from Ricky Fagone. Ricky peeking to the inside, gets a little bit of a run there. He's creeping up on the back of the 17. Sweeting's gap grown about 1.8 seconds to Rick Fagone. That was a weird inversion there, but that camera definitely definitely put the blimp camera right above these boys. Go back here a little ways, try to find some of the guys you're familiar with. Troy Cook trying to fight to stay in the top 10. He's in 9th right now with Larry Dickerson on the outside. So there's a switch for position. Then we've got Richard Springer, Jonathan Williams fighting for the 18th, 19th spot. 21, throw him into the mix. Craig Lerman is actually a little bit ahead of these boys. In the 14th spot, he's going to take the 114 of Vern Bradley with him. So a lot of different positions racing each other here, but Vern Bradley, who fought to get back on the lead lap. We've got some votes for driver of the day here. If you don't know how that works, go ahead and drop a hashtag with your driver's number into the chat. And we'll get those tallied up for a post-race interview at the end of this. Right now, as it sits, we've got a vote for the 51, a vote for the 31. If I'm going to cast my vote, I'm going to cast one for the 56 of John T. Wimbish as he goes to the inside of Chuck Sweeting for 4th. Wimbish has maintained a top 5 all race long. And Dustin Germain passes for 4th spot. They had just got around Chuck Sweeting to put him back. Sweeting's falling back to the 7th position. Now Dylan Bryant getting by him for 6th. Christopher Spencer being the next car in line. I tell you what, Sweeting not having that set of tires on that pit stop has really hurt him. He's fallen back from the leaders 5.7 seconds, and these three have not left each other's nose to tail. .6 seconds back to Dustin German, who is in fourth. And that gap's growing a little bit each lap. So this tandem of cars working directly in line with each other. Seems to be a little bit faster overall. But this will burn up fuel for Richard Holland. He might have to pit a little bit sooner than the rest of these guys. We're talking maybe one lap sooner than the 10 and the 17 who are drafting with him right now. They're able to lift off the throttle and maintain a little bit of fuel count. That's going to help Tommy Haynes. I think it might be an advantage, one lap or so on tires. He might be able to make a move. And he enters the corner a little bit higher than Holland. We've watched him do that lap after lap, where he's entering just a little bit higher. Haynes might be falling off a little bit, though, in this longer run. We're talking 13 laps in the stint, 2 laps longer than Holland. He might be losing it. Oh boy, Nation stirring up chat. Here we go. Vote for the 20. 20 of Kyle Stewart, who was leading this race a little bit ago. Back to 15th position right now. Started 16th. Got up there and led four, actually. And a little contact with the 28, sent him up into the fence. He's since got that repaired, but has not quite recovered from that yet. So go on board with Kyle Stewart. Show you what he's going through right now. Kind of by his lonesome. Closest car to him right now is Keaton Tripp in 14th. We check in with Keaton Tripp. He led some laps. He led a lot of laps at the start of this thing. 35 laps left for the 26. Finds himself in the 14th position. That speeding penalty draws him back mid-pack, and it's just tough to pass all these cars, get around these guys. Clean air, such an advantage at a place like Auto Club. Can't vote for yourself. Absolutely, you can vote for yourself. Back up to the front. Here's the story. Richard Holland, 15 laps led. 0.2 of a second separate him and Tommy Haynes. He starts to pull away a little bit each lap. 24 left to go. And I foresee some of these guys pulling it down pit road very soon. Within the next 3 or 4 laps, you're going to see Chuck Sweeting probably pulling it down in there. There he comes right there. This is about the amount of laps that they can make it to the end. Sweeting going to be the first car down pit road. And I'm willing to bet he elects 4 tires here to try to catch back up to these boys. Sweeting hits his stall, starting in the 4th position here. Four tires goes on the 75. He's down and away. Gonna lose a lap, but I tell you what, 4 fresh tires is gonna make a big difference here. He's gonna be able to get through this traffic pretty quickly. He's gonna come out around mid-pack or so. As you see the 10 or the 51 of Troy Cook, Burt Wilson going by. That's about 10th position. So he comes out mid-pack. Let's see where he cycles through. Tommy Haynes, 0.3 of a second now separate him and Richard Holland. And Haynes doing a heck of a job, though, with 2 lap older tires, running in second right now. He's just got to get on and off pit road perfectly. You see the 10 of Rick Fagone peek to the inside. Fagone gets a little run off of 4. .21 laps to go, and these guys haven't hit pit road yet. You've got Dustin German here in 5th position. Dylan Bryant, they were side by side for just a moment there. Here it comes again. Bryant in 4th. John T. Wimbish, Falling back to 7th spot right now. He's on a little bit older tires than the rest of this field. We're talking about a 2-lap difference for the guys in front of him. And German still trying to get around the 03 of Bryant. Back here to the 14th position, Hal Amy. He's got 6 laps on his stint. He had a .1 in his box. I'm not sure if he came back down for a penalty or not. 51 of Troy Cook is on pit road. He's getting serviced on the right sides. Now the left side's going to go up on this machine. Well, he's down and away, so 14.6 seconds in there. 4 tires for Troy Cook. Chuck Sweeting, look at him mowing through this field. Look what 4 tires looks like. He's catching up quickly to these boys. Just a matter of how fast Holland and Fagone get down pit road. Here they come. Long pit road here. 55 miles per hour. The 31, the 10 hit their pit stalls. Christopher Spencer still out on the track. And just behind him, he's got the 75, who's being scored 1 lap down currently. Racing up to him. Spencer's going to pull it down pit road. Here you see the 75. The 31's down and away. Chuck Sweeting across the line. Holland and Fagone, and probably about midway through 1 and 2. Are they going to get back out on the track in time here? Holland had 4 fresh tires. You can see Sweeting coming out of 2 right now. These 4 fresh tires definitely going to make a big difference for the 75, but he loses a little bit of time, and he's got 3 seconds, almost 4, back from Rick Fagone. And after they all cycle through, I'm willing to bet Richard Holland's going to be your leader, and he is. 17 laps left. Rick Fagone, Richard Holland, your top 2. Chuck Sweeting in 3rd spot, 3.6 seconds back. He's going to have to drive the nose off this thing to make up that deficit. Christopher Spencer, who stayed out the longest, he's got the newest tires. Chuck Sweeting's got 7 laps on his. So Christopher Spencer has a chance to get up there and get a podium if he can catch up to these boys. Dylan Bryant right on the bumper. He's got some fresh tires. Here we go. Maybe a pass for 4th. Side by side down the backstretch to the inside. Dylan Bryant. Christopher Spencer side by side. Look at Troy Cook up there almost in the top 5. He's going to go to the outside of Christopher Spencer now. Now down to the inside. He's looking for a run. He peeked back and forth but couldn't get it. Dylan Bryant trying to run away now. Christopher Spencer in 5th. Troy Cook right up on the bumper again as they enter 1 and 2. Wimbish on the outside now. And a little bump draft here. Sends Troy Cook down into 3 and 4 on the inside of the 11. Is Cook going to be able to get around him, though? He starts in 4th position, currently running 5th. They're side by side, and Wimbish tried to push him down into 3 and get him by. This is just trying to work the magic here with 14 laps to go. You got to get these positions now if you're going to get them. Troy says that's easy for you to say as he's all the way down to the bottom again and still can't get it. Now Wimbish, he's going to look to the inside. Tide Machine looks like it's struggling on the bottom as well. Nobody can get the pass on Christopher Spencer or Troy Cook. Seems like the bottom's just not going to work here. We cycle back up to your leaders. Rick Fagon, Richard Holland. They're 4.5 ahead of Chuck Sweeting, who has about 5 lap older tires. And this is all the way down the backstretch. You can see Dylan Bryant starting to catch up. And he's leading a tandem of cars. The 75 starting to blink a little bit. Chuck Sweeting disappearing from my scoring chart for a moment there. He's completely out of the track right now. And Sweeting hits the pit lane. I don't know if he got booted for, he might have disconnected here. The 75 of Sweeting does hit pit road. He has a connection issue, I believe. And it looks like he hits pit road to top off with fuel. Yeah, it's going to be a fuel only. No, he's got right sides going up on this machine. So maybe splitting the run. I don't know. Maybe these guys can't make it to the end. Maybe Sweeting can't make it to the end. I don't know what the fuel mileage is like. I want to say that these guys had like 20, 22 laps. Could have been able to stretch it here. Not guaranteeing that your leaders can make it all the way to the end, but they're driving it like they can. Let's ride on board with Holland and listen to see if he is letting off of it. Garrett, yeah, it does, man. I've that's one of the tracks I love participating in, but we will be in it tomorrow night. WFO Wicked Wednesday Xfinity Series will be live. 8:45 Eastern Time. We'll have Vern Bradley and Nation 01 up here in the booth. And, yeah, yours truly will be out there on the track. I'm looking forward to it. It's one of my favorite places to race at. Hopefully we can have some green flag pit stops. Get a good run out there. I know we've had some green flag pit stops here tonight. And once they cycled through, we've went green. We've had 3 cautions here tonight, I believe. Maybe 2. There we go. 2 cautions, 14 lead changes. And with 10 laps remaining, Richard Holland, your leader. Started 3rd, currently 1st, and he's pulling Rick Fagon around this place pretty fast. Dylan Bryant works his way up to 3rd, so great race for Bryant as he's 6 seconds back here from these leaders. He's got Larry Dickerson in 4th. And I was supposed to make an announcement, but I'm having troubles finding the guy that I was supposed to talk about. DMS was supposed to make the grid here tonight. He's doing a live stream, 24-hour live streams for 10 days for Toys for Tots. And I thought he was going to make the grid here tonight, but I'm not seeing him out here. So just a quick shout out there to DMS. I know you probably wanted to be out here tonight. Maybe just a scheduling conflict, not able to make it into the grid. But there's your spread from Richard Holland back to Dylan Bryant, who is in 3rd. 6.5 seconds separating these guys. And then Larry Dickerson 4th. Christopher Spencer 5th. Dustin German taking the heat to the back of the 11 right now. And then John T. Wimbish 7th position. Tommy Haynes, who was up there in that top 3 a moment ago, has fallen back to 8th. Troy Cook 9th position. And then Glenn Jamison's going to round out your top 10. 8 laps to go. It's looking good for the 31. Will the 10 try to pull a move here? I know a late caution would be really bad for some of these guys. Unfortunately, Chuck Sweeting, some of these guys that were up in the front, Sweeting being one of them, had to stop for fuel. Keaton Tripp, who led a lot of laps here tonight, he's in 12th. He's falling outside the top 10. We had a guy lead some laps earlier as well, Craig Learman. He's back in 13th. Kyle Stewart led some laps. He's back in 14th. So all these lead changes. And it comes down to 7 to go, and Richard Holland able to figure it out. He was chasing leaders all race long, and he's leading the second half of this thing. 30 laps led for him so far. Rick Fagon would love to get up there and take it away, though. So we're looking at these intervals, and the closest cars racing on the track right now. 3 wide here. Dylan Bryant, Christopher Spencer, Dustin German, and the 69 machine. Larry Dickerson, he gets up to 3rd. So right there towards the end with 5 laps to go. Larry Dickerson's able to sneak it out, but Dylan Bryant going back to his bumper on the inside in 1 and 2, all the way to the bottom here. And Bryant wants this podium bad, you can tell it. They've been racing hard for 3rd all race, but I tell you what, Bryant losing some positions, being down there in that bottom, looks like he's going to fall back another spot to German. And Christopher Spencer now, he might have the opportunity for a 3rd place. Get up here to Holland. He's racing Chuck Sweeney on the inside. The 10 of Fagon, they're passing some lap traffic here. They've put all the way up to about 14th, 15th position, a lap down. Kyle Stewart being one of those guys right now. With 4 laps to go, this field very spread out. Make sure you guys cast your votes for driver of the day. We've got 3 laps to go. We're running it down here. Does Christopher Spencer have anything for Larry Dickerson? Does Rick Fagon have anything for Richard Holland? Are we going to see some last lap passes here? Down to the inside now for the 11. Inside the 69 of Dickerson. He tries it. He pushes it really hard down into 1 and 2. They're still side by side down the backstretch. Bryant hasn't let up either. He's still inside of Dustin German. This is the closest battle you can find on the track right now. Bryant really close back here with Dustin Germain. They were tight. Really close battle. The 11 of Spencer are going to work the opportunity with this lap traffic through the middle here. Into 1 and 2. Drives it down deep. 69 of Dickerson. Looks like he's conceding here, but maybe a crossover down the backstretch. Larry Dickerson gives up the position, but he's back to the inside in 3 and 4. We've got 2 laps to go. We check back up with your leader as they come to the white flag. Richard Holland, Rick Fagon, 1st and 2nd. Still to be determined, though, is that 3rd place spot as Christopher Spencer and Larry Dickerson battle it out. Pushing it down into 1 and 2, right up on the bumper, and the 11 of Christopher Spencer has to lift out of the throttle. He takes it up really high on the outside in 1 and 2. Let's see if he can get the run down the backstretch. Richard Holland down the backstretch. He's going to lead this thing in the last lap into 3 and 4. Only has to do it one more time. Here they come out of 4. Richard Holland gonna be your winner here tonight. And as we announce that, let's catch up back here with Larry Dickerson. The 11 of Christopher Spencer loses a couple more positions, drives it up into the wall, and it's going to be Larry Dickerson across for 3rd, Dustin Germain 4th, and Dylan Bryant sneaks across the line to beat Christopher Spencer for 5th. There's the fireworks down the back stretch. Richard Holland able to get it done. A little love tap from Rick Fagon. And you know that 31 1-1 this season. He's been working for it all season long. Very unusual. We haven't seen the 31 in victory lane very much this season. So it's good to see him up there. Rick Fagone in second. Larry Dickerson third. We're going to burn it down with Richard Holland here on the front stretch. Your winner here tonight. Congratulations to your top three here tonight at Auto Club. We're going to pull the top three and get your post-race interviews. Driver of the day, Richard Holland. And race winner. We'll be right back after this. Racing. It's in our blood. Good brisket, not meth. Oh, God. I got your back, man. I got your back. Just kidding. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit.
Make it.
Liam.
They'll never make
Car
it.
outside. Clear outside. Liam. Car outside. Clear outside.
We've caught up down here in Auto Club Victory Lane with Richard Holland, your race winner, able to get it done. And you had a lot of guys you were chasing all night long, Richard. Take us through what it took to get this thing done.
Woo! First of all, Coop. Man, that one's been a long time coming here. We've been on a little bit of a dry spell. Strategy has not worked in our favor all season long. We've been screwed on the tire strategy, fuel run. I mean, it's just been everything. We've had mistakes. Anything that could happen to keep us out of a good finish or a win has happened this season. Aside from a very few good runs, it's we just haven't had good luck with this strategy. So, feels good to pull it off here at a track we like running at, and oh man, it feels good. But anyways, yeah, what was your question, Coop?
Well, we had a lot of different lead changes here tonight. We had Keaton Tripp up there leading a few laps. You had Chuck Sweeting take it away. Tommy Haynes was right on your bumper. There was several different guys that were up there in that top three at any given point, and you were chasing them. What did it take here? Did we just need a green flag run to cycle through and get this field spread out for you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and then it goes back to the strategy, the tire strategy, and how you played it, and when you took your tires and when you didn't, because you couldn't take tires every time you pitted. So I think some people it just didn't work out for tonight, and like I said, like I mentioned earlier, it's bitten us several times this season, late in these races, and Keaton was obviously fast. He's fast everywhere we go, and Chuck's fast everywhere we go, and he was fast tonight. And the 17, Tommy was fast tonight. It just came down to having the right strategy and the green flag pit stops, getting on and off pit road fast and clean. Um, and I think that's about it. We just happened to get lucky on the strategy, I guess.
Well, we saw the different tire sets, and then Chuck Sweeting, who pitted about 7, 8 laps earlier than you guys, had to bring it back down pit road because I think fuel was an issue. Do you think if Sweeting wouldn't have had to pit, would that been the guy that you might have been contested with?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know he pitted early there, and I'm not sure what he was up to, like what his strategy was. What he was going about there with his strategy. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe something messed up and he didn't get fuel or something on the other time. The stop before that. I'm not sure, but seems like something was astray there because he's usually pretty good with the strategy and making those decisions. So I'm not really sure, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he would have been the one. Him and like I say, the 17 was up there. I know he pitted early on that last stop. I don't know if he had trouble or what, but when we come out and it was just me and the tent, me and Ricky there, I knew we were in good shape as long as we didn't get a late caution. So
Well, you got it done out here tonight. I know Auto Club's a tough place to break away and get any kind of gap. You had your teammate Rick Fagone close behind you all the way up to the end. But this one's been a long time coming. Like you said, it's good to see you back up here in Victory Lane, Richard.
yeah, man, I appreciate it. Feels good. Feels good to get back in the wing column here, and it's just like I say, this strategy is altogether different, and it's bit us in the ass more than it's helped us. So feels good to just get this one, no matter what the circumstances.
Well, we have a second announcement for you, Richard. You've been deemed driver of the day tonight, thanks to the Amy Army coming out in the droves in the chat. So 31
right.
car, second award there for driver of the
Hell yeah.
day. You did a hell of a job tonight.
Hell yeah, man. I just want to thank all of Amy Nation coming out, watching these races, supporting us, voting for us. Like I said, I think it was last week, we haven't given them much to root for and cheer for, and haven't had the finishes and the runs that we've been wanting. But it feels good to come out here and have them guys' support and watching us, and like I said, rooting for us, and we can actually pull off a good win here and pull off a good run and actually pull off the win for them.
Well, Richard, on that note, do you have anybody else you'd like to thank for tonight's victory?
I just want to thank everybody that raced in here tonight. It was a good race. Good. There was a lot of give and take around where I raced around. I know that. Had one run where I was on old tires and a lot of people on new tires, and I was trying to get out of the way, but I felt like I was in the way more than anything, and it's just difficult. So, but I think there was a lot of give and take, a lot of respect, and people raced each other really clean. And just want to thank everybody. I want to thank you, Coop, for doing what you do. Getting out of the truck and doing this broadcast for us just so we can watch it and the fans and whatnot. Can't thank you enough, and you do an awesome job, man. One of the
I
best for
appreciate
sure.
that. Appreciate that,
And
man. I was an itch, man. It was an itch. This is one of the tracks I love. So,
yeah, I know. We'll go get them tomorrow night though. But yeah, I want to thank everyone that runs the league. Anything that has anything to do with running the league, supporting the league, um, sponsoring the league, anything like that. And I want to thank my teammates, man. Thank Ricky for racing me clean there at the end and being a good teammate, and Hal and Troy, you when you race with us. Yeah, appreciate it.
congratulations, Richard, and we look forward to tomorrow night.
Woo! Let's go get them.
Let's go get him. All right, so there it is. Richard Holland, your race winner here tonight. Posting probably what I would think is a great comeback. We've had a rough start to the season for some of these guys, and so good for him. Richard Holland, your race winner. Let's catch up with Rick Fagone now in your second position, the 10 truck. Driver Long, he's been seeking some speed too. I think this truck races haven't been very good to you, so it's good to see you get up there in that top and that podium, Ricky.
Thank you, sir. Proud to be you.
Well, you were right behind your teammate Richard Holland, and you guys just able to get on and off pit road, and you pitted about right where the fuel was going to run out, and Chuck Sweeting had to pit extra. It just worked out in your guys' favor.
Yeah, right. I don't know what the strategy was. I knew it was going to be close. I think I still got some fuel left over for a little bit of a burnout, but I'm all done with that now anyways. But Yeah, the on and off pit road was important. The last two stops, the two money stops, I actually got right. The first three that I made, I slid through my box twice, and then I come up short one and lost a pile of positions in all three exchanges. So to get the last two right was really the time to get it right. As I was able to sit there and ride in second and come down to the finish line. And by the time it was ready, I was ready to make my move. I'd lost the right front tire, and I couldn't make that ground up on him and get the run. If clean air is a big thing, and he was able to cut the corner a little better than I was, and I just couldn't keep the momentum up enough to gain on him and maybe put a move on him. But I certainly didn't want to see him win. I'd much rather win myself. But hey, we'll give it to him this time.
It seemed like, Ricky, that the bottom of the track, when you got to the inside, you just couldn't clear, and it was with a lot of guys running that bottom. You could get the run, but coming off the exit, you weren't able to get to that clear spot, and you just couldn't pass.
Yeah. I know in the past we've run here. The bottom is usually the fastest way around. But the last couple times we come here, the outside's starting to get a little better, and I found myself stuck on the bottom there a couple times, and I was just looking to let people go. I mean, there wasn't anything you could do because you couldn't get the momentum to push off the corner and go up the lane that you needed to keep the speed going. So I mean, just concede the corner, and then next thing you know, six guys are lined up lapping their chops, waiting to get you on the outside. So it's like, holy shit. I made for an entertaining race, and pit strategy certainly did too. I don't know what happened to Tommy Haynes there. I come undone on him there. He's checked up into the corner. I was following him, trying to help him push Richard to get the three of us farther out in front, and then all of a sudden it's just his car like died on me, and then I had to react and move out, and apparently he called out his pits anyways, and I just didn't hear him, or if I've got all team speak on high racing muted, it was my fault anyways, and I apologize to him. So, yeah, it was a good race, Brad. Good race, and I look forward to tomorrow night to see if we can't do it again. Maybe the one spot better.
Well, that's the only thing you got to do. I mean, as far as the race goes, man, you did a great job. You got it up there in the top three, and when it counted, you were hovering around that seventh, eighth position there in the first half of this, and it seemed like once you got trapped, like you said, on that inside, you just lose a ton of time.
Yeah, I know there's one stop that I didn't take tires accidentally, and luckily the caution come out 2 laps after I made the stop, so I was able to come in and take the fresh tires when everyone else, I don't believe, did. So I had a little bit of an advantage on some guys, and it helped me get out to 4th place. And I didn't think I was going to be able to catch the 3 of them drafting, but we managed to drive up to the back of them and kind of stay relevant. So that helped. The mistake I made, another one.
Yeah, I mean recovery, but Ricky, you got anybody you'd like to thank for second place tonight?
Well, I want to thank Richard and you and Hal and Troy as well. A good team working together and try to figure this thing out as all at once as we go. But yeah, I want to thank Michael and Macaulay for adminning, being the bad guy, and thank Vern for being there and being the, I guess, the CEO, FO, ABC, whatever the hell he wants to be
CEO
called.
of WFO.
Call him King Vern. Thank him, anyways, for keeping a good group together, and hopefully we look forward to racing with each and every single one of these people again and again and again and again, all that good stuff. So thank all the drivers.
10-4, Ricky. Well, we look forward to it, and tomorrow night we'll see you again.
All righty. Thank you, sir. Have a good night, Brad.
Third place finisher, Rick Fagone, or second place finisher, Rick Fagone. We got third place here. We're going to catch up. 69, Larry Dickerson. We're down here on pit road with him. Larry, it was a tough battle there towards the end. You and Christopher Spencer going back and forth, and
Oh yeah.
it was we caught some of that. You guys really pushing it in the entry of the corners. It looked like he just couldn't clear you on that inside, and it was vice versa. Once you got to his outside, it worked out.
Oh yeah. The last 2 laps were hectic. My heart was pounding because I thought he had me because I think I was 2 or 3 seconds behind everybody when I came on that last pit stop, and I knew I had enough. So I just had to, what the old saying is, go balls to the wall and just get what I could. And I caught Dylan when he was in third, my teammate, and I was fighting him, and it took me like a lap or 2 longer than I wanted to getting around him. and when it did, I kind of accidentally burned my stuff up a little bit. So then when Christopher got by him the last 5, 6 laps, it was a dogfight between me and Christopher, and I don't know if he's listening now. I want to apologize to him because that last lap I went to block him and I accidentally stuffed him in the wall on the backstretch going in three, and I know he's probably mad at me. And if he's listening, I just want to apologize to him. That's not me, and that's not how I raised. Everybody knows that. And again, I apologize to him.
Well, we saw you side by side, and there was, I mean, you got the give and take. You've got, progressing through the race, but when that white flag drops, sometimes it's every man for himself. You're just making spur of the moment decisions.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all here to win, but we all want to race each other clean, have each other respect. And when it came early on in the race, I started eighth, and at the very beginning, I think I let I would say 5 or 6 trucks pass me just on purpose, cause there's no need to race that early on. So I figure I save some tires, save some gas, and I just get them back, let them come back to me when they wear their stuff out at the end. And that's what a lot of them did for me. I just stayed patient and stuck to a rhythm and stuck to my line and let them wear their stuff out. And they, like I said, came back to me. And again, I apologize for Christopher. I feel bad because I don't wreck people and race like that. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, we're all here to win. We have a good time, and unfortunately, he was just on the bad end of the deal tonight with the last lap racing.
Well, last lap racing, it is what it is, and I tell you what, third place tonight, nothing to hold your head down about. Larry, we watched many battles prevail on the outside. Was it tough to pass here tonight?
Absolutely. I would say probably 10 to 15 laps after a run. If I tried to make a pass on the bottom, it would be as soon as you get on there and you go back to the throttle, it would get super tight, and it was unless they actually just backed off and gave you the room, you couldn't make the pass. So I intentionally was as soon as I got to them, if I couldn't drag the corner panel going into the corners to drag them back to me and slow them down to where I can do a slide job, I would just intentionally wait till somebody would open top lane up just enough to me to put my fender there. That way I can do the flip the roll on them, and instead of me getting tight under them, they would be underneath me. They would get tight, and they would have to lift, and I would get the position easy. But it was very, very tight, but I'm glad to get a top three compared to last year. I feel like I'm a lot more consistent. You're getting chances to talk to me a lot more
Yeah,
often
yeah,
now.
Larry. This is 2 weeks in a row now that we've had you up here, so
Oh
I'm
yeah,
getting used to hearing your voice.
and I think I've already got more top fives this season than what I did all of last season with both the Arc and trucks combined. And it's just cause, to me, it's just me running this league with guys like Richard and Ricky coming back and Keaton. Running with guys like that will make you better. It makes you learn stuff that you didn't know before. So it's amazing to learn from these guys and helps me out a lot.
Well,
Wait.
you're. Wait. Now he comes and shows up.
Oh,
Nation
now
off of,
now my
now he's
crew
off the
chief
UF.
my crew chief comes back, even though he thinks he's still fired. But I told him he was rehired.
He fired me like 5 times.
Hey, Nation, guess what?
What's up, buddy?
Fuck you.
Damn.
What's
Well,
going
Larry,
on, Nation?
Now you sound like Coop.
Oh shit. Is that a
Larry,
compliment?
Larry, you got
I
third
don't
place
know.
tonight. I tell you what, you ladies, you shut up. You're both pretty. Third place tonight. Do you have anybody you'd like to thank?
Absolutely, man. I want to thank everybody who runs the WFO. Y'all put on an amazing series. Shout out to everybody who runs this league. Again, guys like Richard, um, Tommy, Keaton, my buddy Dylan, who can't make all the races fast as hell. Uh, Shout out to every guy that runs this league. we put on a great show, I think, for everybody every week. Shout out to you for your awesome broadcasting every week, man. I really enjoy going back and listening to the replays and hearing your analysts analyze what goes on, and not only does running the track make me better, but listening to what you have to say and listening to everybody who finishes in podiums and what they do helps me get better. So shout out to you for your awesome broadcasting coverage.
Thank you.
Shout out to Nation since he showed up late.
Well, of
And I st-
course.
and I still love him, even though he ain't bought me any quarter pounders.
I didn't even get the fucking quarter pounder, and it cost me $1,000.
But shout out to all the sponsors, Hal and everybody else who sponsored this. Shout out to my teammates Dylan, Kyle, who runs this with me. I know, like I said, Dylan, when he can run with me, we have a blast. And he had a strong run tonight, so good run for him. And Kyle had a good run tonight, but he had bad luck, so we'll get him tomorrow night again. Shout out to uh, all my other leagues I run and everybody and them that watches this stuff and roots for me. Shout out to all the fans who watch. Or shout out to my sponsors, LA Construction, and Angel Syndrome Foundation. Again, go check them out. Find anything you do to help that organization out. Great cause. And shout out to my wife for listening to me. Again, put up with shout for a couple hours every other night or every night just about. And yeah, just great race and good time getting to talk to y'all again.
It's good to hear from you, Larry, and it's good to see you up there in the top fives. And congratulations on the third place finish tonight. It's good to see the improvement. We appreciate you, and we appreciate all these drivers that come out here and come out week after week, putting up with us. Because I mean, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, but ultimately, one night, that's what matters. That's what we do it for, right?
Oh yeah, and like I say, every time I get the chance to talk to y'all, this is, in my opinion, is one of the best leagues to run. People need to come check this out, cause again, great competitors, great broadcast, a great bunch of admins that run this league. It's a blast.
Well, WFORacing.com. Well, Racing League, I believe. And then, so we got Angleman on the side of that, and we appreciate your time, Larry. We look forward to tomorrow night. Twisted Tuesday Truck Series wraps it up. We're going to go Wicked Wednesday Xfinity Series for 110 laps. I think it's a little bit longer. But,
is it longer?
Maybe it's 105. I know the fuel strategy is a little bit different with that car. That 50% fuel, we got a little bit bigger fuel window with that Xfinity car, but hopefully you can get it up there in the top three and get another post-race podium.
Oh yeah, maybe get a win, but I never touched Xfinity on this track, so it'll be something new to learn. And hopefully I get to talk to y'all tomorrow night. And either way, I look forward to tomorrow night, and let's try to give them hell.
10-4, Larry. Good talking to you, buddy.
All right, y'all have a good night. All right, thank you, Nation. Love you, buddy.
All right, so there it is, your top three. Let's go through those finishing results. Richard Holland getting the victory. Rick Fagone in that close second place. Fastest lap of the race, 40.668 for Richard Holland, a 40.582. So you know Ricky working hard trying to catch that 31 machine. Larry Dickerson, Dustin Germain, Dylan Bryant, Christopher Spencer, John T. Wimbish, Tommy Haynes, Troy Cook, and Glenn Jamison, your top 10. From 11th place, Burt Wilson. 12th place, tough break, Keaton Tripp. Led a lot of laps tonight. He's going to come home 12th. Chuck Sweeting, who had that last-minute pit stop, maybe a little fuel mileage. I don't know what happened to the 75, but he's going to bring it home 13th. Jacob Daniels in 14th. Craig Learman, Kyle Stewart. The fan favorite Hal Amy is going to be in 17th. Richard Springer, Jonathan Williams, and Dakota Floyd in 20th. John Sanu, 21st. Brad Patterson, Vern Bradley, Todd Cleveland, Brian Beach, Raymond Mills, and Matt Egan will round out your field. Special thanks to Michael McCauley being up there in the booth. Shout out to Vern Bradley, Hal Amy, everybody, Amy Contracting, everyone that puts this league together. We thank you for all the generosity and your time. Wicked Wednesday Xfinity Series tomorrow night, 8:45. Yours truly going to be out there on the track. We're going to have Vern Bradley, Nation 01 up here in the broadcast booth. Myself, Bradley Cooper, signing off. We appreciate you guys. Hit that follow button, subscribe to the channel, share it with everyone. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Racing. It's in our blood. From the No Limits of Texas to the high-speed banks at Daytona.
I mean, nobody's going to catch that 3-truck of Hal Amy as he takes it.
From the drop of the green flag. To green flag pit stops. It's in their DNA. We live for it. There's 7 nights in a week. And only one night matters to us. The moment to prove that we're the best. Laying down an entire season. Pushing the limits. We're made for it. Bumper, Artie Peterson out to the lead. Glenn Jameson's pushing hard now. Garrett behind him. Top 5 could throw a blanket over it. Artie's going to drop down to the inside. 10 car's going to start pushing. These guys are little contact between the 14 and the 70. 63, 3 wide in the front. Artie Peterson stuck out in the middle. Brandon Winning, we got a car down on the apron, 70 car, and now a car up in the wall. We got a wreck behind him. 1 lap to go. Rick Fagone has got the position right now. Garrett Helmlinger and Glenn Jameson, neck and neck. We got a push on the inside, push on the 10 car. Rick Fagone looks like he might pull it off, neck and neck at the line, and the 10. Oh, and the Garrett Helmlinger, I can't believe what I just saw. It looks like Garrett Helmlinger. Survival of the fittest. 16 chase drivers. 1 championship. Who's got what it takes? Does it give the command to start the engines? It's time to find out. WFO is live right now.
On it, but man, Fagone has just a perfect 1 and 2 right there, Nation. Fagone's going to bring it off the bottom, out of turn 4. Can he hold them off to the start-finish line? And I believe he's going to, Nation.
Good win.
show.